Hey there, welcome to a new episode of the Community Show. On this week's show, we will begin as usual with what's going on, and then move on to this week's sports action. And then on this week's Something to Chat About, our first guest will be Kris Hodges with Across the Way Productions, and we're going to be talking about Floyd Fest and their community involvement in Floyd County. And then our last guest for this week will be Morgan Grimm with Floyd County YoungLife, and we're going to be talking about a project coming up called ProjectFloyd. So you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned and we'll be right back after this with this week's What's Going On. For this week's What's Going On, beginning with Wythe News, sponsored by the Wytheville Enterprise. 17 dancers from Lisa's School of Performing Arts are busy preparing to perform during the National Cherry Blossom Festival Parade April 12th in Washington, D.C. As part of their practice, the girls have been dancing the night away in Withers Park. They will be part of the 600-member all-star tap team that clicks its way along Constitutional Avenue from 7th to 17th Street in our nation's capital. The parade route is a mile long, and the dancers, all members of the dance troupe With Rhythm, will perform at the beginning and the end of the parade and at the parade grandstand. They will also dance periodically in between those stops. Next, while working in her dad's pediatric practice during high school summer breaks, Lee Hughes Johnson realized she wanted to become a nurse. It took a while for the Wytheville native to achieve her goal, but the effects have been profound for children throughout Wythe County. At the end of this school year, Johnson is retiring from the program that she worked tirelessly to establish, the placement of a nurse in every school in the county. She is also relinquishing her job as family life instructor, which she has taught since the spring of 1982. This has been such a positive thing, Johnson stated recently, but she has said that she is ready to retire and that she has been very blessed from the beginning. The Freedom Van looks like a patriotic leprechaun threw up all over it. Decked out in every shade of green imaginable, it is covered from bumper to bumper and then some. It is covered in flowers, statues, glitter, beads, shamrocks, plates, fairies, ornaments, and so on and so on and so on. And behind it is a small trailer decorated the exact same way that is hauling a 350-pound brass eagle that looks like it's about to land. It is a place of art, really, said the van's owner and driver, Linda Farley. I'm going to change the decorations when I got home. I've got all new spring flowers that are ready to go. Farley, 62, was in General District Court on Wednesday afternoon to defend her right to display Christmas lights on her van. Her case was continued to July, and she is looking for a local attorney to defend her. The lights were red, white, and blue. They are saying people could confuse the van with a police car, Farley said. They might if they took enough LSD, and if they're stoned that much, then maybe they shouldn't be driving anyways, Farley continued to say. Even children realizing that I am exercising my freedom of speech, she ended. Speaking of which, the van is covered in glitter-ridden sayings and quotes defending freedom of speech and the right to smoke. The Freedom Van is Farley's second van. The other one, the Liberty Van, sits at her home in Kentucky. She was driving the Liberty Van March 6 when a state trooper pulled her over in Wythe County and cited her for using defective or unsafe equipment. Both vans have traveled across the United States. The Freedom Van is a 2010 Kia Sedona with, get this, about 120,000 miles on it. The Liberty Van is Farley's first art van. The 2004 Nissan Quest has traveled almost 400,000 miles. Next, the winter has been a busy time for Jen Odie, and these early weeks of spring have been too. All the behind-the-scenes work for the opening of the 2014 Wythe County Farmers Market is being finalized by the new market manager. The Wytheville Farmers Market will open Saturday, May 3rd and continue each Saturday through October 25th. Hours will be 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and vendors will again be set up in the former R.P. Johnson's outdoor lot on Main Street. And now for Floyd News, sponsored by the Floyd Press. At its meeting last week, the Floyd Town Council received information about a program that could add 2 workers for nonprofit and public organizations in Floyd County. John McInhill of the Floyd County Chamber of Commerce told Council about the SCSEP, Senior Community Service Employment Program, which provides work opportunities for seniors and is funded by the Department of Labor. Next, Floyd County's Triads first annual golf tournament will be held at Great Oaks Country Club on April 18th at 1:30 p.m. Pre-register at Great Oaks Country Club. Entry fees is $45 per player, cart is included. Fee is $180 per team. Triad is a crime prevention program for seniors and a cooperative effort of law enforcement agencies, senior citizens, and other organizations. Next, Congressman Morgan Griffith visited Floyd County High School recently to take a closer look at the Ag Department's new hydroponic system and lettuce crop used to supply county school cafeterias. Next, the public is invited to an information sharing event that is all about Floyd County agriculture and forestry on April 22nd from 4 until 6 p.m. at the Floyd Eco Village. The event is hosted by the Floyd County Agriculture and Forestry Viability Committee, an advisory group to the Floyd County Economic Development Authority. The event will provide information updates of farming and forestry in the county. Keynote speakers will be representatives of the Floyd County High School Summer School Farm Program. Joe Tesoro, agricultural teacher and head grower at Floyd County High School, and Barry Hollinsworth, career and technical education director. Long-term goals and near-term plans for the school farm will be shared. Rising 8th graders through seniors will participate on the farm by being responsible for all aspects of production and marketing of agricultural products grown. The farm school leaders are also contemplating a summer program for younger students. And finally, an Easter service will be held at Chateau Morissette and will begin at 10 o'clock a.m. in the William Morissette Room. Celebrate with contemporary music and worship. Your children can look forward to an old-fashioned Easter egg hunt on the front lawn after the service. All are welcome. Plan to have lunch at the restaurant as they serve their renowned Sunday brunch buffet from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. And that is all for this week's What's Going On. Stay tuned. Up next, we'll have this week's Sports Action.
Bank of Floyd has been the bank thousands of Virginia families trust to manage their personal finances and grow their businesses.
We understand that we need to earn our customers' business every time. And to do that, we need to know them.
We focus on individual customer solutions. We're more than just your community bank, we're your neighbors.
Bank of Floyd has our best interest, and I really appreciate that.
Bank of Floyd, neighbors helping neighbors. That's what we do best. Experience the difference.
Spring sports have sprung. And for this week's Sports Action, here are the schedules for Floyd County, Fort Chiwell, George Wythe, and Craig County High Schools. Kris Hodges with Across the Way Productions, and we're going to be talking about Floyd Fest as well as maybe some of the other events that Across the Way does. So, welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me, Casey.
No
It's good to
problem.
be here.
So, tell me, Floyd Fest is now in its 13th year this year.
Correct. It's hard to believe.
That's crazy. How did you come up with this idea to start the festival?
Well, I've been in music my whole life. Since I was 15, I started doing shows down in Roanoke, Virginia at the Iroquois Club. It was a kind of a landmark down in downtown Roanoke. So I did my first gig at 14. I've been playing music my whole life. I just have a deep love and appreciation for culture and arts and music. So I knew then and there I was going to be on the stage in one form or another. Being a traveling musician and a performer is very difficult. So it was about 20, close to 21, 22 years ago. I was sick of touring on the road. I came back home to Roanoke, where I had grown up most of my life. And my mother said, "Come to Floyd. You should check out Floyd if you want to get out of the scene." I hear there's a lot of arts up there and a lot of musical things happening. So I did. I came to Floyd and immediately fell in love with it. And one thing I noticed was not only I've always loved the country. Always, my grandmother had a farm in West Virginia, so I just fell in love with nature and being out in the woods. So when I came to Floyd, I immediately fell in love with the natural beauty up here. Not to mention the local culture and the artisans. And I thought to myself, Floyd represented a perfect canvas to do an event. It had all the elements. It had the natural beauty, which people love. It had the local culture, which people love. And it had the artisans and transplants, so to speak, that were coming from all around the world, bringing their music and art and culture here as well. So the melting pot of all of that just made for a perfect canvas to throw an event. So, I checked out the scene here. I lived here. I lived on a farm for a few years. I studied ethnomusicology with Acorn Basin, which was he grew up here, his family, and he was just a phenomenal artist and taught me a lot about the local culture and ethnomusicology in general and how to present shows. So I learned a lot from him, and I learned a lot from just traveling around and meeting farmers and other artists and the local musicians in the Floyd Country Store back in the day. Not only did I fall in love and have the vision to put something on in Floyd and bring it all together, so to speak. Nationally, there was a growing interest in roots music, string music, Appalachian music. So it was perfect timing. So in 2001, my wife and I, Erica, we owned and ran Oddfellows. We started Oddfellows Cantina. We decided that the iron was hot, so we struck. And it's been a long journey since then. I mean, we had 3,600 people the first year, and now we got up to 17,500 with Allison Krause 2 years ago. So we're bringing that back, and we're still trying to hone in our logistics, but the attention and the popularity is definitely here. So we made the right move.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that last year there was some concern about community involvement.
Sure.
What do you have this year that you're doing for the community?
Well, you know what? I'll state, Floyd Fest has always embraced the community, and we always have, and we always will. We have Floyd as the namesake, and when we have the namesake of our town, we have to represent. So we definitely understand the importance of involving the community. We employ 8 full-time professionals who stay in the community. That's year-round, so we do employ and keep professionals in the town of Floyd. Additionally, Floyd Fest hires 300-plus locals seasonally and during the event every year, and we're actually looking for more this year. So that number will probably get to about 400. And we partner and utilize many of the local suppliers and contractors in town. We also work with all the area timber frame companies, including Dreaming Creek, Streamline Timber Works, Highland Timber Frame, Sticks and Stone Construction. Plus, of course, we work with Wills Ridge, C.W. Harmon, Farmer Supply, Griffith Lumber, and Ingram's. And then we also partner with Red Rooster in town here, Oddfellows, Beagles Landscaping, Blue Ridge Yurts, Danny Weeks Excavating, Jim Shorts, our lawyer in town here, and we even partner with citizens. So we definitely work with the community in a lot of different ways. As far as nonprofits are concerned, thousands of dollars go annually into local nonprofits such as the Floyd Music Lab, Floyd Artisan Trail, the Floyd Songwriting Project, Safety Rope, Friends of the Blue Ridge Parkway, the Jacksonville Center, Band Boosters, and many others that I can't even recall right now. So we involve a large facet of the community every year. And needless to say, we also donate countless tickets to local charities
Okay.
for donations and auction. In 2004, we had conducted an economic impact survey that stated that, well over $2 million was coming in just into the
Right.
local economy. And that was in 2004. Imagine what it is now.
Right.
I mean, we have, tenfold the amount of people coming through town. We like to believe that we represent Floyd in a positive light to the nation.
Right.
So, that's how we try to involve the community to the wider world and locally. So, in the end, we couldn't be any more local or community involved than we possibly are now, and we will continue to do so.
Well, that's great. And you just mentioned that you're looking for help. How do people get involved with Floyd Fest?
That's a great question. There's a number of ways. Volunteer application is live at floydfest.com.
Right.
And we have, I think we're accepting about 400 volunteers this year.
Okay.
And that's live right now. You can go to floydfest.com.
Okay.
It's floydfest.com, and you can check out all the information there, as well as a staff application at floydfest.com. So you can apply that way as well. We're currently seeking gear truck drivers and with pickup trucks and trailers for some really good pay for the festival. So if anyone out there themselves has a pickup truck and a trailer and knows someone, please get them in touch with us at floydfest.com. You can call our offices. All of our information is there. It's 745-3378.
Okay.
745-FEST.
Okay.
And you can contact info at floydfest if you want to send us an email, info@floydfest.com. And we're looking for any additional nonprofits that want to donate their time for profits, so they can have some pay donation to their organization if they want to come work with us. Again, contact us at floydfest.com to find information on what I just discussed and all kinds of other good information there as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you have some great performers this year. I'm very excited about Lauryn Hill.
Oh, yeah.
And they get bigger and bigger every year. What's the process of getting these performers to come to the festival?
Well, it's interesting, in the early years, no one had heard of Floyd in the industry so much. So it was a little tricky trying to sell them. Luckily, I had some of the cred from Oddfellas. I brought like Rhonda Vincent in, and who else? We had John Renborn in there, Rhonda Vincent and the Rage back then. I did Norman Blake. I had a lot of great sellout shows. So I did have somewhat of a name, but still, a festival's a whole nother ball game than venues. So it took time. Now that the festival has gained so much popularity, the industry takes note. So now that they see the numbers are here, and basically when you're over 10,000 people, which Floyd Fest is, that's when the national kind of industry
Really gets involved.
And says, oh, this is worth pursuing. And Floyd Fest has a really good name for itself in the industry. So they contact us now.
Okay.
And, and I'm even thinking about 2015 right now. I'm already starting to formulate the lineup right now. I get really hot and heavy like in October. I'll start actually confirming, sending offers, getting the bands confirmed in October. So we're the first festival in the country, by the way, every year to announce the lineup.
Okay.
We beat out the biggest ones in the country, whether it's Bonnaroo or Lollapalooza or Coachella, and we kind of pride ourselves on being the trendsetters.
Right.
So yeah, this year, is the biggest lineup ever. Ben Harper, Lauryn Hill, Ziggy Marley, Ray LaMontagne.
Which his album comes out in just
May,
a little bit.
Is it April?
I think it's
April.
May.
Is it May?
I think
no,
it is.
It is May. It's
Okay,
May 6th. Ziggy Marley puts one out in April.
There you go.
So we have a lot of new albums coming out from these artists.
Right.
And Ben Harper and Charlie Musselwhite just won a Grammy this year for Best Blues Album. So I got a lot of blues, and I like to switch it up every year. You know, some years I'll lean more towards country and bluegrass. Other years I'll lean more towards rock. This year I lean kind of more towards a reggae and blues rock vibe. And in some years it's Americana. I change it up. This year's theme is revolutionary. We made a lot of changes due to logistics. So revolutionary ideas mean that there's a big change. So we've made a lot of big changes, and I brought artists that I think represent revolutionary change. A lot of reggae, a lot of blues rock. Rock and roll, good roots music.
Right.
So yeah, I'll start looking at artists now and start reaching out to agents, and then start confirming in October.
Okay. And
So,
I think we actually are going to possibly have some of the artists on the show.
Wonderful.
And starting in, I think May is when we have that set.
Wonderful.
So really look forward to that. So you talk about a lot of new stuff this year.
Oh, yeah.
What's new?
Well, the biggest new thing, there's a lot of new things this year. We're always trying to refine the process. There's perfect formula that we're still trying to develop. 13 years in, we're still trying to, we feel like we have the market pretty well, the demographic understanding about what our customers want. Now it's just logistics. In hindsight, getting people off site to your site, looking back on it, I will never do that again.
Right.
It's a huge logistical challenge.
Right.
So this year we found a wonderful flat piece of land in Meadows of Dan. It's the airstrip in
Right.
Meadows of Dan.
Right.
That's our alpha lot. That's our general patron parking. It can house about 6,000 cars. It's all flat. We can queue up 860 cars at any one given time on the airstrip itself to process them as quickly as possible. Really excited about that. So that's new. It's right off of 58.
Right.
Gear transportation. I know that the company attempted to transport gear and separate the gear from the people. Didn't work out so well. So this year we're reverting back to a truck and a trailer behind every single bus, so patrons are not separated from their gear, and it's just an easy drop and an easy pickup once they get to the site because the truck is right with the bus.
It just makes it easier and flow better.
So much better flow.
Right.
So that's a big change. And just as well, we're trying to separate the operations from the patron experience on site.
Okay.
So if there's no more on-site camping with your vehicle on site. That's been removed. RVs have been removed from the site, as well as car camping, and that's all at the Delta Bravo complex parking lots that are off of Helms Road.
Okay.
So if you have a car and you want to camp with your tent, you go to Bravo lot, and if you want an RV, you go to the Delta lot, which is right next door, and there'll be buses for both lots running around the clock 24 hours.
Okay.
So that's new this year. We're hoping we're going to streamline those efforts. For the comfort of all on-site camping patrons, we've instituted a tent tag this year.
Okay.
Most festivals sell camping extra. We've never done that. But as we saw, the popularity of Floyd Fest has gotten so big, way too many people are starting to just swarm on the site. And last year they were camping in trees, they were camping in the main field, they were camping everywhere. So in an attempt to control that, we're selling tent tags this year. It's a $50 tent tag for the 5 days, and that requires to place a tag on your tent. And that's for the safety of the patrons.
Okay.
That's for the aesthetic value of the site itself, and to give everyone optimal, comfortable camping experience.
Right. Now, do you have to have a tag for your tent, your cooler? I mean, well, you don't
Not your cooler. You get a 15 by 15 plot.
Okay.
And you just have to place the tent tag on your front zipper of your tent.
Okay.
And you can put anything else in that 15 by 15 that you can. Coolers, chairs. You can put a pop-up over your tent.
Okay.
You can hang a hammock in the trees if it's within your spot.
Right.
So we're hoping that this will create an optimal, comfortable, safe camping experience for everyone.
Right.
And we're working at about 83 acres. So we're going to try to accommodate about 3,000 tents.
Wow.
And I think it got up to about 5,000 tents last year.
Right.
If you use the 2.3 per tent model, that's what you're looking at. So.
Yeah, I remember last year there was tents upon tents.
Yeah, it was too much. And then, of course, the weather, which is a variable that no one can deal with. You just have to roll with it when it happens, So I think the team dealt with it about as best as we could.
Okay.
But I think alleviating that many tents, it'll be a lot more comfortable regardless of the weather.
Okay.
And we've reduced numbers by 1,300 tickets this year. We actually shaved off 1,300. We shaved off 1,000 tickets from 2012. Even in 2012 to 2013, we shaved off 1,000. Now 2013 to 2014, an additional 1,300. And Floyd Fest is a popular national event at this point.
But it still sounds kind of like you're still trying to make it where it's that small feel.
Yes, and that's the idea. We want to maintain the boutique cultural arts music festival vibe experience. We love that. We don't want the biggest festival. We just want to make the best festival.
Right.
And we want to make that comfortable for a limited audience capacity, because I think that's what you're going to get the best out of it. Go to some of these big festivals, 80,000 people, you lose the experience with the stage. You lose the experience with the other people around you. So the 10,000, we're trying to keep it at about 11,000 people. That's a very comfortable audience, and it still feels intimate, and it keeps that boutique cultural arts vibe, which the trends are kind of going back towards the smaller, more boutique events, and we have a great opportunity here. So that's what we're trying to attempt to do.
Right, and now some questions that I've heard is with the RV parking, taking that off, what's going to be there? Is there going to be another stage, more tents?
Tent camping.
Okay.
That's what we want to open it up for tent patron camping.
Okay.
And even though we've reduced numbers, we took the RVs off, we're really attempting to create an ideal, optimal camping experience.
Okay.
Yeah, plenty of space, safety, walk around, the whole nine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, that is all the time we have for today, but
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Casey. I really appreciate
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Thank you, Floyd. We love you.
And remember, FloydFest.com. Check it out. And today we're here talking with Morgan Grimm, and we're going to be talking about a event that's coming up called Project Floyd. So it's great to have you on the show, Morgan.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So tell me, what exactly is Project Floyd?
Sure. Well, the name lends itself. Project Floyd is a day of projects.
Okay.
We are going to be doing the first annual Community Service Day. We've never done this before. We've stolen the idea from Virginia Tech's big
Okay.
event.
Okay.
And we want to get our kids and a lot of community members involved in doing work, getting things done,
Right.
and getting our hands dirty all day.
Okay. And you mentioned Virginia Tech. Is that where this initiated from? You know, did you go to Tech? Or?
I did go to Tech.
Okay.
Didn't ever participate in the big event,
Okay.
but it was much smaller then. In the last few years, it has grown up to thousands of people involved now.
Wow.
And although they really have the college as that resource for the bulk of people, we did look at what they're doing and what they're accomplishing. They take one day a year. They organize projects throughout the year,
Okay.
get community members to put in requests for work they want done, and then they go out, send them with the tools, and they get thousands of projects done in one day.
Wow.
So we, with Young Life, we have so many kids. The wildlife age is 6th to 7th grade, and then Young Life at the high school level, 8th to 12th. We have all these kids that are involved in a lot of supportive community members. We
Right.
thought, why not do this in Floyd?
Right. What sort of projects are you all going to be working on?
This year we have a little smaller range of projects than what we hope to be able to do in the future, but we're going to work with Plenty. I think that they're not exactly sure because it kind of depends on if we get this snow next week
Right.
that we're thinking might happen again. See where the grounds are at, where they're at with planting, but we'll help with Plenty in the gardens. The Community Action Building is one of our larger projects.
Okay.
They're going to be at a great spot in their construction for the kids to come in and help put up some trim, do some painting.
Okay.
We're going to be probably painting the Fligger House for the Historical Society.
Wow.
And then a lot of the smaller projects we're doing is just community members who have put in a request
Okay.
to move boards that are too heavy for the families, elderly couples,
All right.
things moved around house, organized, things like that. So we have a fun range of things. I think we're going to be doing some work out at the Zion Lutheran Church.
Okay.
And the schools are interested in us doing some beautification
sure,
around
yeah.
in their gardens too. So we're still taking requests.
Okay. Yeah. How long does it take? How long do you have until the request?
Yeah.
Until you can't make any more requests.
We've asked that all of the requests be in by the 15th of April, which is
Okay.
coming up really fast. But depending on the size and the scale of the job, we may be willing to do it if we get the request in by as late as May 1st.
Okay. Now, is this the only project that Young Life will be working on this year, or are there other projects?
We're going to see how this goes and how the kids and the community respond. I think on this scale, an all-day event, because we're going to be starting around 10, finishing around 3, and then we're going to finish the day in the Library Park with having a meal that Mickey G's and Ray's is going to cater for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great way. I think everyone who volunteers will get a T-shirt and finish the day with a great meal. And I think that's just a really neat way of saying we all came together. We all, we worked together and did this for the community. So I think if kids are really excited about the process, which a lot of times when we get our kids involved, they've helped at Angels in the Attic, and some of them have said, that was so rewarding, or we've taken them on work crew weekends, and they've said, I've liked that even more than when I go and it's about me at camp. So we would like to continue to build partnerships with like Plenty and Angels and some of the other groups
Okay.
that we work with. But as far as on this magnitude, that'll be our only project this year,
Okay.
because we do club and camps and,
Right.
and our events throughout the year with kids.
Okay. Now, is this Project Floyd? Is this just a Young Life project, or can other people come and help as well?
Absolutely. We are hoping that it is multi-generational,
Okay.
lots of different community members involved. In fact, we're hoping that that the bulk of the people is actually more adults and community members who specifically volunteer year-round. And, like, if it's plenty, that the kids are getting to partner with people who volunteer throughout the year.
Right.
So they make connections, and so they really get to see that a lot of the spirit of Floyd is people who volunteer throughout the year, not just one event. So we're encouraging, we're reaching out to the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Okay.
I know the 4-H group here is going to be involved. Some of the kids are going to, they're actually required to do community service at some point this year, so they're going to use this as a way of doing that. We've reached out to churches, and we're kind of in the process of letting people know, hey, we're still recruiting team leaders and volunteers, because the more leaders, the more team leaders and the more volunteers we get, the more projects we can continue to take on.
Now, it really sounds to me like, I hear community and I hear connections. It really sounds like that this is a community project, not just Young Life.
Yeah, and we hope so. That's why we've called it Project Floyd, not necessarily, Young Life Work Day or something, because I love this community so much, and one of the things I'm so passionate about, outside of just what we do in our program of Young Life, is giving kids a passion for where they live.
Right.
A lot of them feel like Floyd is a place there's not a lot to do, and they just haven't had opportunities to get involved. There's lots of really great things going on in Floyd, and I think this is just a small way of getting them tapped into some of those people who they may make those connections and continue to work with them throughout the year, maybe even job opportunities.
Right, and kind of lead back to, you can move back to Floyd, much like you and me did. After we graduated, we moved back. And so I think that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
So how do they get involved? Do they contact you, or?
They can. Our website that Misty Griffin developed, it's ProjectFloyd.org.
Okay.
Very good website that is self-explanatory about how you request a job, how you volunteer. If you want to be a team leader, there's a spot in that request, that tab. But then if people they're not sure that they have a job that they want done, or they are not sure they can volunteer for the whole day, they can call either Darren Britt's contacts are on the website, or mine. A lot of people have just through Young Life. Maybe they want to make a meal for a team. Maybe they want to donate some rakes that they have that aren't being used.
Right.
Basically, if there's a way that someone thinks that they could be involved, they can get in touch with us. But as far as project requests and volunteering, that can be done really easily on the website. And also, people can make requests on behalf of someone else. If they know like a neighbor is in need of something, and they just check and run it by the neighbor, but they don't have internet access, they can make that request for the neighbor to have work done.
That's great for the elderly people in our community.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what is the date of this event?
Yeah, great question. It's May 10th.
Okay.
We will meet at the Library Park around 9 to distribute T-shirts, kind of go over some different things, and people will disperse from there.
Okay.
Some people will be walking to their jobs, like Miss Polly's Garden and the Old Town Gallery, and some work in town, and then others will drive to their location.
Okay.
And then we'll all come back around 3 o'clock and then get the meal ready and finish up with a small ceremony on May 10th, Mother's Day weekend.
That's awesome. So that's all the time we have for today, but I appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So for more information, go to ProjectFloyd.org.